Enrollment in A&T has skyrocketed once again as NCAT 20 prepares to enter into Aggie land.
And the new House Bill 2 law has caused controversy in the state. Stay tuned to find out how it affects our institution.
All this and more here on Aggie News and Views. Hello and welcome to Aggie News and Views. I'm Ashley Wilson.
And I'm Autumn Bracey. March and April are known as one of the busiest months for North Carolina A&T's admissions office. This year especially, the admissions office received just under 15,000 applicants for the enrollment in the fall. Aggie News and Views reporter Dominique Moody reports about the increase of applications at A&T.
North Carolina A&T State University is moving in the right direction in recruiting prospective students. More importantly, the number of applications has taken a dramatic spike. Over the last couple of months, North Carolina A&T's Office of Undergraduate Admissions has received just nearly under 15,000 applications from high school students for the fall semester. According to the admissions office, the correct number of applications received is 14,902. In 2014, the number of applications was approximately 8,584. Currently, the university is on track to shatter former application records. A&T usually receives around 5,000 to 6,000 applications per year, and the number has continued to increase since 2009. While this may not come as a huge surprise, just last year, A&T became the largest historically black college in the U.S., creating an opportunity for high school students to want to attend the university.
The U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Anthony Foxx, is slated to deliver the 2016 commencement address of North Carolina A&T State University on Saturday, May 14th. The ceremony will begin the processional at 8:30 a.m. in the Greensboro Coliseum.
And the countdown has begun for the newly appointed president of the UNC system, Margaret Spellings, as she embarks on her UNC First 100 tour. Spellings has challenged herself to visit all 17 colleges and universities within the UNC system during her first 100 days of office. During A&T's 125th birthday, Spellings spent an entire day in Aggieland, and I had the chance to talk to her about her impressions of the university and how she plans to help A&T to be just as competitive as the other schools.
Excellence. I mean, the place just screams top-notch, world-class excellence. Whether it's the physical plant or the kind of work that's going on here, the cutting edge research. Thirdly, I would say partnership. This is a, fully integrated community between UNCG, the community college, the city, the county. I mean, it's all one big, committed cast of characters who are working on providing opportunity. And then I would say just a vision for the future. This is not a place that's resting on laurels. It is a place where, and I love that, to hear the chancellor talk about, they're planning to grow and expand and move. I mean, the next 25 years are as exciting as the last 25. Absolutely. I'm confident of that. So it's a delight to be here. I plan to be a frequent visitor, and Chancellor, congratulations on all that you all have achieved and all that you will achieve.
Thank you.
So far, Spellings has visited Fayetteville State University, Western Carolina, UNC Charlotte, UNC Pembroke, UNC Chapel Hill, East Carolina University, and North Carolina Central University.
Speaking of politics, we are in the heart of campaign season, both here on campus and in the 2016 presidential elections.
You're absolutely right, Autumn. And just stick with us, and we're going to hand it over to Arlette Hawkins to see what's happening here in Aggieland and nationwide.
The race for the White House is growing more and more exciting every day. There are crucial primaries coming up where candidates will have to campaign hard for their delegates. In the newsroom, Marilyn Parker gives us more information on the polls. Marilyn?
It can be argued that Republican frontrunner Donald Trump cannot stay out of the face of the media for too long, especially after his comments on abortion and his plans to force New Mexico to build his wall. Latest in his campaign has been his comments on the Republican National Convention being set up against him. Donald Trump feels as though the entire system is rigged and, quote, stacked against me. After seeing the results of the Colorado primary, where Senator Ted Cruz received 34 of the available 37 delegates in the state, Donald Trump did not hesitate to voice his opinion. Now, if you thought the Democratic candidates didn't have what it takes to gun for one another on a debate stage, well, think again. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders battled it out in the Empire State just days before the New York primary. This is an especially interesting primary, seeing as though both candidates are New York natives, and the amount of delegates in the state can determine either the end or the beginning of each candidate's race to the White House. Sanders did not resist bringing up his opinions on Hillary Clinton's judgment and her relationship with big banks, while Hillary Clinton feels as though Bernie Sanders' plans with minimum wage and climate change are simply unrealistic.
Secretary Clinton have the experience and the intelligence to be a president? Of course she does. But I do question her judgment.
President Obama trusted my judgment enough to ask me to be Secretary of State.
But perhaps the most exciting part of Thursday night's debate had to have been Bernie Sanders promising to release his tax returns the following day.
Everybody does it, okay, I will do it.
Secretary Clinton, you just heard her. Everybody else does it, she'll do it. We will release our taxes.
Thursday's crowd was very enthusiastic for both candidates, and now the wait begins to see who really had the home field advantage.
The candidates are running a busy campaign, so be sure to check in with our political segment to keep you updated. More than 700 people filled the College Park Baptist Church in Greensboro Sunday for a rally against House Bill 2. This bill states that transgender people in government-owned buildings are required to use the bathroom that aligns with the sex listed on their birth certificates. The business community also responded to the law, saying it could have damaging effects on industries in the state. The triad concerns have been raised about the effects of the upcoming High Point furniture market. How do you feel about House Bill 2? Springtime at NCAT means out with the old and in with the new. Reporter Autumn Bracey has more with the story.
Election day is finally here as candidates are preparing for their last day of campaigning, as tonight the results of the 2016 student government elections will be revealed. Students gather in front of more gyms supporting candidates as they campaign to be elected as representatives for the 2016-2017 academic school year. Mr. and Miss A&T candidates are two of the most prestigious positions on campus. Take a look at what some of the candidates vying for the position have to say.
I feel that I'm the best fit for this position. You know, I have an outgoing personality, welcoming spirit, just, you know, being able to be relatable and having that, you know, one-on-one conversation with the students. Because, you know, I understand that I won't let the crown or the title of Miss define who I am.
Some of the high points of my journey as running for Mr. A&T, I receive a lot of support from alumni, which is that I never even met until now, and that really means a lot to me. People from back at home that really said I inspired them to keep on going.
The current Mr. A&T, Jamal Averett, shares advice to prospective candidates.
As long as you just continue to be yourself and just continue to work hard and really just prove to the others that you belong in this position, anything is possible.
The results for student government elections came in on April 6th. Your next Mr. and Miss North Carolina A&T are Jasmine Bowles and Jeffron Smalls.
After all of the ballots are in this Wednesday, we look forward to seeing our newly elected student government representatives. That's all we have for politics. I'm Marlette Hawkins. Back to you, Autumn.
While North Carolina A&T is celebrating 125 years, there is also another cause for celebration.
The A&T Register is celebrating over 100 years of serving the Aggie community with an exhibit of the 10 most memorable front pages of the newspaper.
Aggie News and Views reporter Dominique Moody reports about the memorable exhibit.
The North Carolina A&T Register has been a marker of success for over the past 100 years by providing the A&T community with the news of the week. From Ronald McNair, Dr. James Dudley, and Barack Obama have all had the prestigious privilege of gracing the student newspaper. The historical publication was once known as the Agricultural and Technical College Register. Dr. Kim Smith has been a strong advocate of making sure that the exhibit was a success and to ensure that students were able to be a part of the historical opportunity.
It's opening a new chapter in journalism historical research. There is a lot of research on black newspapers in general.
The A&T Register has served as a source of history from the beginning of the publication to present day. Dr. Ken Campbell served as a speaker for the A&T Register exhibit and explained the importance of the A&T Register.
The importance of the exhibit is for students to be aware of the history of A&T, to be aware of the history captured through the register, because that is the history that students have identified as being important.
The exhibit had pages from different eras, including the 60s and 70s, serving as a marker of historical content. This year, the A&T Register celebrated over 100 years of publication. The Journalism and Mass Communications Department and History Department collaborated on bringing the historical newspaper to life. The A&T Register continues to serve the community with Aggie pride, because that's what Aggies do. And for Aggie News and Views, I'm Dominic Moody.
The A&T Register has produced over 1,000 weekly editions, which are digitally archived in the Blue Fur Library. Today, the Register continues to produce newspapers every Wednesday.
And students can contribute and pitch story ideas by attending their weekly contributor meetings on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. in GCB 328.
But don't go away just yet. After the break, we have the latest on North Carolina phone tapping and social media updates that have caused some problems among users.
See you in a bit.
In the College of Engineering, we build bridges from the simple to the complex. We have graduate and undergraduate programs in 6 departments. Our students and faculty study topics that touch your life today and affect your world tomorrow. In the College of Engineering, we make the future now. For more information, visit us online.
Welcome back to Aggie News and Views. I'm Autumn Bracey.
And I'm Ashley Wilson. Now, if you thought that the law couldn't be used to unlock your phone, well, think again. According to CNN, federal agents have been using a 1789 law called the All Writs Act to force Apple and Google to unlock phones in at least 20 states. And North Carolina is one of them, with 2 reported cases. In a study released by the American Civil Liberties Union, this pro-privacy group published more than a dozen instances where all the writs acts were used by federal law enforcement agencies. Now, the ACLU published an interactive map which highlights all the cases in each state, and in a statement said, the ACLU expected to learn about additional All Writs Act cases in response to our FOIA requests, and we will continually update this map.
More than a few updates have been released by social media apps, and some people are having trouble adjusting to these new apps. Reporter Keandra Hartwell has more on these changes.
The online photo and video sharing network service has found a new way to keep users engaged. Instagram has made videos longer and added multiple editing clips. However, those who updated their iPhones don't have access to these new features. Before updating your iPhone, the only new feature that was available was adding new accounts. You can add an account by going to Settings, scrolling down to the bottom, and selecting Add Account. You can have up to a total of 5 accounts. Instagram has brought back the feature to trim clips. You can have up to a total of 15 clips. Once you install the latest version of iOS, you'll be able to access Instagram's newest feature of having videos up to 1 minute. Snapchat has added new features with Chat 2.0. You can simply access these features by opening up a private chat and clicking on one of the following buttons to send a photo from your camera roll, live call, live video chat, and also send new fun stickers. Students tell us their opinion on the new update.
I feel like Snapchat trying to do too much now. Like with the phone call, like you have a phone, which is Snapchat is on, so ain't no need for the phone call or the FaceTime.
Like how it's quick, like when I'm tapping it, I ain't gotta go out and then go into somebody else's and like have to do that through the whole thing instead of just tap, 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 tap and get through it quick.
I want to FaceTime somebody that bad. I'm going to just call them. I'm not going to use Snapchat to do it. But I guess it's convenient for people who like don't both have iPhones and you want to FaceTime somebody with Android.
I don't really like it because, you know, like when you press one person's snap, it keep going to the next person and the next person.
Tumblr also has an update. You can now post images and videos anywhere in any caption. Also, Tumblr released push notifications for Android users. Tumblr's update allows users to get creative with their page. Malik tells us more.
I think it makes it better accessible. It makes it easier to use with the update, especially on the mobile. I use it a lot on my phone. So.
With all of these new updates, people have taken their thoughts to Twitter. How do you feel about the new update?
And since over 100 million people use Snapchat daily, the updates were intended to encourage users to express themselves more easily.
And Snapchat is refreshing their terms of service and privacy policy, which will help make new changes clearer for users. But stay tuned, coming up next, catch up on the latest must-see spring movies, the formation of an upcoming Beyonce music video, and the return of Empire.
Also, we have information on the reported suicide attempt of singer-songwriter Kalani. Stay tuned for your weekly A&V entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda Crumbly here with your weekly entertainment segment. Aggies, it's that time again. The 2016 Aggie Fest will kick off Sunday, April 10th with SGA's Aggies and Poets in Harrison Auditorium at 6 p.m. Aggies and Poets features performances from well-known organizations on campus. Our team went out to capture the event.
The girl that says she's a bad communicator, but always has a phone in her hand.
Hip-hop mogul, brand influencer, and entrepreneur Sean Puffy Combs can now add another notch to his growing list of accomplishments. We might know him as the guy who scores hit records and makes us all dance, but in a recent interview with New York radio show The Breakfast Club, Sean Combs expressed his passion for education and confirmed he and Capital Preparatory Schools have joined forces and will be opening a charter school in his birthplace of Harlem, New York. Capital Prep Harlem Charter School will be open fall 2016, serving grades 6th through 7th. What a way to give back to your community, Puff. With the new season among us, there's a lot of new movies hitting the theaters this month. But first, a recap of the very popular Zootopia. The Walt Disney animated adventure movie surpassed opening weekend box office predictions by nearly $23 million, reaching $73.7 million. Needless to say, it was a hit among moviegoers and film critics. A Washington Post movie review read, "The genius of Zootopia is that it works on two levels. It's both a timely and clever examination of the prejudices endemic to society, and an entertaining, funny adventure about furry creatures." Jen Chaney. There's a new installment in Ice Cube's Barbershop trilogy. Barbershop The Next Cut is back with former cast members Cedric the Entertainer, Anthony Anderson, Sean Patrick Thomas, and Eve. In this sequel, the crew must come together to save the shop and the neighborhood. Haven't we heard this storyline before? The last two films weren't disappointments, and with celeb-studded additions including Nicki Minaj, Tyga, Common, and Regina Hall, this should be just as enjoyable. The Queen Bee, Beyonce, is getting the world in formation as her latest composition brings awareness to the Black Lives Matter movement. Stay tuned to find out who may appear on Beyonce's new music videos for her upcoming album. The date of Beyonce's new album has not been released. However, her fitness clothing line, Ivy Park, is now available in Topshop, Nordstrom, and Selfridges. Beyonce's Formation World Tour kicks off this month on April 27th in Miami, Florida at Marlins Park. Speculations of cheating arose when Party Next Door posted a photo of Kehlani, who was thought to be dating NBA player Kyrie Irving. After much buzz on the web, the artist revealed via Instagram that she attempted suicide in what some would call a desperate attempt to get Irving's attention. Kehlani then posted a picture online of P&D at her hospital bedside while she was in recovery, thanking him for saving her life. The incident went viral on social media because of celebrity influence. This circumstance seemed to unintentionally glorify the seriousness of suicide and suicide attempts. In order to understand suicide and the signs in depth, reporter Michaela Ratliff sat down with counseling services on the campus of North Carolina A&T. Let's take a look. If you or someone you know shows warning signs of suicide, please call 911 or reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. We've been anticipating the return of Empire. The family is back with season 3. So what have Cookie and Lucius been up to? The show premiered September 2015 and has become a hit since. That's it for your weekly entertainment here on Aggie News and Views. Stay tuned for more when we come back.
Congresswoman Alma Adams has proposed a new act to assist HBCUs by providing grants that will, quote, close some of the gaps that persist on HBCU campuses and within HBCU administrations. The HBCU Innovation Act acknowledges the fact that these institutions have been historically underfunded and plans to change that with the help of the United Negro College Fund and over 15 U.S. state representatives. The Congresswoman visited A&T in early March to inform students on financial responsibility. Hopefully, she will return to campus to speak more on the act.
And North Carolina law enforcement will be keeping a close eye on motorists who exceed the speed limit. Drivers will be at risk of being fined more aggressively due to the Obey the Sign or Pay the Fine initiative. If a driver has a suspended license or violates any traffic laws in addition to going over the speed limit, it will be to the discretion of the officer to enforce the law.
There were over 300 speed-related fatalities in North Carolina last year. Obey the Sign or Pay the Fine started back in March and should continue to be a standard for all drivers. Coming up next, the latest scores and highlights in Aggie sports.
Stay tuned for your A&V Sports Break with Dominique Moody.
Hello and welcome to the sports segment of Aggie News and Views. I'm your host, Dominique Moody. We start off with the North Carolina Tar Heels, who suffered a heartbreaking loss to the Villanova Wildcats in the NCAA tournament on Monday night. All North Carolinians were tuned in to see if the blue and white could bring the trophy back to the Tar Heel State. But a last-second three by Chris Jenkins lifted Villanova over the Tilford Tar Heels. Blood, sweat, and tears sums up the season for the A&T's women's basketball team. The women's basketball team finished the season on a high note by defeating arch-rival NC Central on senior night with a total score of 60-48. Dana Brown scored 19 points on 4 of 7 shooting from behind the arc, while April McCray finished her career at Corbett Sports Center with 18 points and 9 rebounds. The women's team swept all their foes at the MEAC Championship, which gave them an invitation at the Big Dance. The Aggies were locked in against Notre Dame, but the Irish gained momentum and built a substantial lead and would go on to win 95-61. Now, on the flip side, the men's basketball team finished the season by edging the high-flying NCCU Eagles, with a score of 93-87. Sam Hunt led all the Aggies with 29 points, and he went 11 from 12 from the free throw line, while double-double machine Bruce Beckford made sure to light up the stat sheet with 20 points and 10 rebounds. The A&T men's team participated in the MEAC Championship, but struggled to get out of the first round, losing to Compton State 98-91. From all of us here at Aggie News and Views, we wish all of our seniors success in their future endeavors. And we want to start with the A&T bowling ball team, who cannot stop succeeding. Last week, they were invited to the first NCAA Women's Bowling Championship. The ladies will have the opportunity to compete for 2 national championships. The championships will air on ESPNU Saturday, April 16th at 6:30 p.m. It's been a rough start for the A&T baseball team, but the Aggies do have wins over UNC Greensboro, Bethune-Cookman, and NC Central. The men's team will kick off a 3-game homespan against the Florida A&M this weekend at War Memorial Stadium. A&T softball team has dropped 5 of their last 10, but that hasn't stopped the Lady Aggies from keeping their composure as they travel to Tallahassee, Florida to take on MEAC rival Florida A&M. And they're off. The track and field will be hosting an Aggie Invitational on Saturday, April 9th at North Carolina A&T's Irwin Bell Track. This will kick off the last leg of the season, and all of the senior Aggies want to leave their legacy. Well, that's our sports report. Thanks for the company. Back to you, Ashley and Autumn.
Thanks, Dom, for that sports update.
And thank you to our viewers for tuning in into each week to Aggie News and Views.
Be sure to follow us on social media for news updates and behind-the-scenes footage of the show.
Our Instagram is at Aggie News and Views, and our Twitter is at Aggie News_Views.
I'm Autumn Bracey.
And I'm Ashley Wilson. See you next time.